What is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz. As you know, we dive deep here on this program, so do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, I hope you all are doing great today. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune in to the Arrington Gavin Show. You could be doing so much other stuff, something, so much more important. You can relax. You could be binge watching your favorite TV show. You could be reading a good book. You could be just having a good time with friends or with your loved ones. But you taking out just 1 hour of your time to join the conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. And for that, I'm forever grateful. Please continue to support, and spread the word. Please spread the word to the masses as we are trying to do here on this program. This is the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your host, your friend, Arrington Gavin, coming to you with some more great conversations. Look, my friends, on today's conversation, we're going to try and impact it all within this hour. This is probably no shocker to most, but for some of the folks over at MSNBC, maybe it is. Recently, the president has stepped down after serving 4 years at the helm of the popular news network that's been said to be leaning more progressive. Yeah, she recently announced that she was stepping down. So we'll talk a little more with that. Also, a very popular, long standing, I guess you can consider him a career politician, Virginia Congressman Bobby Scott. Rumor has it that he is testing out the waters, potentially putting in a bid for the governor's race for the state of Virginia. So we'll talk a little more on that as well. And also, we're still witnessing the sadness, the sad tragedy that occurred in California, specifically the I believe it's Altadena and Pasadena, and in LA, parts of Los Angeles where, homes were burned to the ground, wildfires. It was so horrifying. It was so sad, and families have lost a lot, have lost almost everything, and a lot of folks are a bit upset with President Joe Biden. Excuse me, nose is running over here. The president had announced a payment to the families who lost victims of the wildfires of a one-time payment of $770. A lot of folks are a bit frustrated with that. I shared my thoughts on that on multiple platforms. I gave, kind of both side perspectives with it. So hopefully we can have some time to talk a little more on that. And also, in the next two conversations, Carrie Underwood has been getting heat after her recent performance at the inauguration. And then also Don Lemon. Don Lemon he's having fun being independent and not political viewpoints. I'm talking about media wise, because he is not signed under any corporation. He has his own media company. He makes the rules, he makes the calls. So he's been saying what's on his chest with no hesitation and being very unfiltered. So what he said recently, I'll share here on the program. Again, my friends, for those who are just now tuning in, you are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. You can check us out on multiple platforms. You can stream us on YouTube or Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show, or also wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that's iHeart, Spotify, Apple, Odyssey, wherever, all major podcast platforms. In addition to that, you can also listen to us on our radio affiliate, WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk out of the Metro Atlanta area. We tune in on that station Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. All right, at 11 p.m. as well as online at wdjyfm.com. So we truly appreciate it. And look, our viewership numbers, listenership numbers have been on the rise. So we just want to again thank you for your support. Let's see right here, my friends. What are we gonna do right now? Let me go ahead and shout out some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Ingenious Gin. That's right, my friends. Looking for a spirit as bold and refined as you. Introducing Ingenious Gin, crafted with precision, infused with exotic botanicals, and balanced for the perfect sip every time. Whether you're savoring it neat, mixing the ultimate gin and tonic, or shaking up a classic cocktail, Ingenious Gin is your ticket to a moment of pure sophistication. Experience ingenuity in every drop. Find Ingenious Gin at your favorite store or online today. You can go to ingeniousgin.com and order yourself a delicious bottle of Ingenious Gin, or you can, my friends, visit your local Spirit or ABC stores. But be sure you have to be 21 or over to order this amazing bottle. And do me a favor, my friends, make sure to drink responsibly. Please, please, please drink responsibly. We want to thank them for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. All right, my friends, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. Do not change that dial. We'll be right back.
You know, just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Let's get it going with our fun fact of the day. You know, it's a tradition here on the program we always have to do. All righty, let's see. On today's fun fact, did you know that by 400 BC, Persian engineers mastered the technique of storing ice in the middle of desert summers? Interesting. Go ahead and take a deep dive and research more on that. I'm not going to do it here because I have other stories to talk about. But again, that's a fact, my friends. And here on this show, we always love to, give you some great insights and just a great conversation starter for those who are the shy bunch, or, if you're at a networking event or trying to make new friends and it's like, hey, guys, it can start off by sounding kind of corny, but hey, it's just good to have those fun facts on your hip pocket and make it seem like you're smart, because we all know use is smart, use is kind, and use is important. All right, enough with that. Let me move it on to our first story. I don't know if you guys heard, but recently MSNBC had announced that they would be receiving a new president. That's right, president of the network. Let me go ahead and get my notes up. Rashida Jones. That's right, my friends. Miss Rashida Jones. She made the announcement recently that she was going to be stepping down from the long-standing. Let me go ahead and actually see if I can pull it up here for you guys, because I don't think I have it. Let me see. Do I have it right here? Nope. Is that it right there? No. Let me go ahead and get this up for you. I thought I already had that completed for you. Let's see. I almost said I'm almost thinking of Rashida Jones, the daughter of Quincy Jones. I think she's she's an actress, and I think she shares the same name. Here we go. That's what I want right here. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys. For those who are watching, I know for those who are listening, you're like, well, what are you talking about, Arrington? Look, I always love to have a good graphic for those who take the time to watch us. So let me go ahead and pull that up so I can put a face to the story that we're going to be discussing. But yeah, President of MSNBC, Rashida Jones, announced that she is stepping down, leading the company after serving for 4 years. Says here that she says she is stepping down after 4 years leading the liberal news network. Her move coming on the eve. Obviously, it came on the eve of the second Trump administration, and after changes in corporate ownership. Excuse me. Says here Jones in a memo to staff recently had said that she is leaving to pursue new opportunities. She'll be replaced on an interim basis by Rebecca Cutler, a former CNN executive who joined MSNBC in 2022. In Jones's tenure, MSNBC has generally displaced CNN as the second rating cable news focused network behind Fox News. Its ratings are sharply down since Donald Trump's election. MSNBC's lineup has remained fairly consistent since Jones, the first Black executive to lead a cable news network. Now, the move from NBC News to take over there in 2021. Now, former Biden administration press secretary Jen Psaki is her highest profile addition. Jen Psaki, as I mentioned before, was a former press secretary under the Biden administration, and it was announced that she would be anchoring her own program on MSNBC. Yes, high profile figure, great, great for ratings, good for her. Now, she also added Simone, I believe it's Sanders Townsend or Townsend Sanders. I'm forgive me if I'm getting the if I'm getting the order mistaken, but she joined the show as well. At first, she hosted her own show, a weekly show, I believe it was, or weekend show, and then she had she ended up starting a program on the Saturday Sundays with Simone, former RNC chair and former Maryland Lieutenant Governor Michael Steele, as well as Alicia Menendez. And those three, I mean, it's a successful show on the weekend. Obviously, you still got your Joe Scarborough. You've seen an adjustment, you've seen a shift in MSNBC, but hey, like she said, they were still leading in front of CNN. And for me, by watching the two, I would probably prefer a CNN over MSNBC. Nothing, bad about MSNBC. I mean, again, I'm a news buff. I watch them all. If I had to, critique, is definitely you definitely know your biases from different news platforms. I think CNN has been in the realm to be more centrist. They're trying to lean more centrist focus, trying to play it more fair than prior, from a few years back then. But yeah, I mean, for them to be in front of CNN, it used to be the other way around. So I mean, kudos to the president for making that adjustment. In November, it announced that Comcast announced it was breaking MSNBC and CNBC away from NBC News into its own company, led by executive Mark Lazarus, meaning Jones was answering to new corporate leadership. At a morning meeting, it was on a Tuesday, actually, Jones said that she was excited about what we've done. I'm excited about what comes next. She shedded little light on the timing. Although corporate changes and political transitions often trigger changes in the new business. And I quote, it says here, when Rashida shared this with me at the end of the recent weeks, I was surprised. Mark, that's told by Mark Lazarus. I was a little saddened for the company, but very happy for her to be able to come to grips with a hard decision, a very personal decision. Now, obviously, we haven't seen any changes. The only change that I know has been announced that Rachel Maddow, who recently had been on a weekly basis, which it was weird. She was only airing her show Monday Monday nights at 9 when she used to, prior to be 5 days a week, to do other products. She had a successful podcast out, but now she's coming back to doing the five 5 nights a week. And then the girl that originally took her time slot, Alex Wagner, she is doing more like, on the road reporting and journalistic work. So they're trying to find themselves in the ratings. They're heavy hitters as far as popular shows. You have Morning Joe as well as Deadline White House, that's hosted by Nicole Wallace. Nicole Wallace was a former, I believe, Bush. She worked in the Bush administration, Republican turned independent. She became a household name on The View. She was there for a short period, then went on MSNBC. The rest is history from there. Morning Joe, again, Joe Scarborough, former Republican congressman, turned independent. He started, building a career in media. Him, his wife Mika. I don't know her last name. She doesn't go by Scarborough, but I know it's Mika. And it's a 4-hour show that has been, high in the ratings. They're one of the most highly paid journalists or anchors, however you want to call it, on the network. But recently, Morning Joe had received some backlash from most folks on the left because immediately after Trump won the election, him and his wife had a sit-down meeting with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, at all places. And so a lot of people weren't happy with that. Now, initially, and I still, I have to read more context to see what the dealio is. But initially, I'm like this. Look, bro, man, won fair and square. Regardless of your thoughts and opinions on him, I can't stand him at all. I mean, I can't criticize him enough, but at the end of the day, he won. So what am I gonna do? Like, how dare you sit down and have the, look, he's the president of the United States. They're trying to find some form of way how they can function. Because look, he's gonna be in the office for the next 4 years. So obviously they're trying to get on some I guess cordial terms with the upcoming president. They are also residents of Florida. They made that announcement for me. I mean, hey, they had the guts enough to, to share it. Obviously, they didn't, they probably knew that they were going to receive some backlash, but they're like, look, they shared it. They were honest and they gave your honest opinion. Oh, but the world could not, they couldn't take it. They couldn't take it. They're like, how could you? And I actually reposted a clip when Scarborough and Michael Steele had got into it on Morning Joe. And really, I was on, I'm on team the former RNC chair, because for one, Joe did not give the man any ounce of time to speak. Like, Michael Steele has always been a fair guy, and he's like, look, yes, I'm a registered Republican. I'm always going to be a Republican probably for the rest of my life. I mean, but he's a fair guy. It's people over politics for him. But when Scarborough continues to speak over him, to me, that's a guilty person right there. We see the narrative when it comes to debates and people, when you're hemmed up on the corner, when you're at a loss and you just keep on boom jabbing them, you start to just do stuff to avoid the pressure. But again, just wanted to make that announcement, wanted to share here on the show. Again, Rashida Jones, MSNBC president, said she will be stepping down after serving only 4 years. Look, she made history as being the first African American woman to lead a network, which was amazing. But at the end of the day, the way the world wants to see their news, I doubted that people really wants to pursue biased news. I mean, yes, Fox News Channel is still crazy in the ratings, but guess what? Fox Corporation owns the media. Like, they own everything. They own multiple publications in states and overseas, newspapers, streaming services. They have the capital to do that. I'll be honest, sometimes I'll be feeling like they must got some bots for viewership numbers, because I've watched Fox News. I've watched it from the morning to the night. I've watched, the late night show that they have, Gutfeld, and I personally can't see the humor on how it's so successful in the ratings. I don't see it. I don't see it, and I've tried my damnedest to just watch hard. No, I can't. No, still don't see it. Like I just don't. There are people there is conservatives on there that think they're funny, that will make little slide jokes. They have an audience filled with senior citizens that are either retired or taking a trip from the nursing home to Fox News Channel so they can have a live studio audience. Like it's not like it's weird. It's really weird. So I don't know how Fox News be killing it in the ratings. I really don't know. But again, with so much happening at MSNBC, the whole back and forth, the adjusting, like they said, with new ownership, sticking strong on progressive views more than just like, and I'm not, that's not coming from me, but I'm just saying in general, that's what the public sees MSNBC as. That is hard to it's hard to stay I guess it was hard trying to do good in ratings, or even trying to rear corporations to say, hey, look, we're going to continue to back you guys, but do they mostly back progressive views? I mean, not too long ago, one of their popular names on there, Joy Reid, who I'm a fan of. I think Joy, she did a segment where she was kind of going after billionaires. And so again, you start thinking, is this going to be good for business? Should we really, should we lean towards this route? It's iffy. Let me digress from this story, guys, and we're gonna move it on to what we have going on next. Thank you for being cool, calm, and collective with me. Hope you all are having a great day, by the way. I tell you, this weather, depending, I don't know where where you're listening to, whether it's VA or California, Texas. I actually looked at a listenership sheet and saw like exactly where we're heard. I mean, you can listen to us overseas, like literally, like I think I saw Germany was at a high percentage. So many other countries. I think around like 4 different countries. But who's I'm not bragging or anything. I kind of am. But let me move on to the next story. So this right here I thought was pretty cool. A little bit about me. You probably already know this, but I'm a Virginia native. Born and raised, I believe, VA. Recently it was we have a big governor's race happening in Virginia. Right now the top 2 names is Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, I believe I pronounced that last name right, as well as the Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. And regardless, I mean, we can witness the first ever female governor in the state of Virginia, but not just female governor, but also, give me one second. Also, we could witness the first black woman governor. Now, it's funny because I'm no fan of Winsome Sears. I mean, she seems very nice. She's a little too conservative. You know what I mean? Like like I said, I have conservative views myself, but she ran for lieutenant governor at the time, like she ran with a poster of her holding an AK. I don't know if it was a 47. I just know it was an AK. It was a huge machine gun. And I'm just like, okay, that's when you start getting a little bit bizarre. Okay, like what message are you showing here? Are you saying, are you saying you'll die for your country? Are you saying you'll do anything to win? Like, what are you insinuating? And so for me, I'm like, okay, what is happening here? What is going on? Let me see here. Let me see. And try and get a good I love putting a face to it, y'all. I gotta put a face to it before I just there we go. There we go. So there were rumors, and a good buddy of mine who happens to work closely to him, he actually started this rumor because he posted it on his social media. But when I saw this across my feed, I was like, wait a minute, is he really thinking about pursuing this? And so it was an announcement that possibly Bobby Scott, representative congressman, longstanding congressman out of Virginia, could be making a bid for Virginia governor. Now, I don't know what's the strategy with this, because Congressman Bobby Scott, he has been undefeated. When I tell you undefeated, he has been undefeated in his congressional races. He has been in office. Damn, let me see how long has Bobby's been in office. And that's why he's so down to earth. Like, when I tell you, he's the guy that literally shows up to everything on the local, in the state of Virginia, especially in the Hampton Roads area, because he's originally from the Hampton Roads area. When you see this man is everywhere, 77 years old, by the way, 77 years old, but very sharp, still very, he doesn't move like his age. He doesn't move like a 77 years old. I'll tell you that. He has been in office in Congress since 93. Do you hear me? He's been in office since 1993. So when they made this announcement, I'm like, oh snap, that's gonna kind of wake up a little bit, wake up the race. Is that a good thing, for Democrats? Is that a bad thing? Because Spanberger is a respected lady. She's a white female. Now I here's what I'm talking strategy with y'all, and I'm no political strategist. I'm just sharing thoughts as far as how the public probably would look at it. For those who are not knowledgeable when it comes to office policies, say if you take out the political party out of it, America will see a black woman going against a white woman. Let's be honest, from there, who people are gonna lean towards? You either want to see the first, regardless, you're gonna see the first woman governor in the state of Virginia, but the first black woman governor, right? But again, I said lack of knowledge. Read policies. Read more about Winsome Sears, because Winsome Sears was not a winning politician. I'm sorry. She ran on the ticket with now Governor Glenn Youngkin, who was kind of a unknown but a popular, likable guy during the governor's race. He went against a familiar face, Terry McAuliffe, who had sat in the governor's seat before. Didn't receive all the support by all Democratic voters, and from there, obviously he lost the race, but he lost along with folks that was a part of his ticket. Glenn Youngkin, on the other hand, he won with folks that was attached to that ticket, like Winsome Sears, like Attorney General Jason Myers, who has announced he's running for re-election for Attorney General. At first, they said, "Is he going to be running for governor?" No, he's going to stay in his position as State Attorney General. Let me just give you a little bit of Winsome Sears. Now, she served in the military before. I think she served in the Marines. So again, she is she served our country. I truly, thank you for your service, ma'am. And she's a highly accomplished individual when it comes to a lot of things. Let's see here. Veteran. She served in the Marines from 83 to 86. She wasn't always a Republican. She became a registered Republican in 1988 and has been ever since. She is let's see, she served on Virginia House of State Delegates from 02 to 2004. She also served on Virginia board, yada yada yada. Let me look at her as far as her political races. Let's see here. I'm looking. Of course, it only gives her her wins and not losses. Let's see. Okay, she was in the state delegates series on civil. She challenged. Okay, she ran against Congressman Bobby Scott in 04. That was unsuccessful. Let's see. She ran for US Senate as a write-in, so that was unsuccessful as well. So again, I mean, they're really okay. Here's some of her takes. Let's just say, okay, abortion. Now she's anti-abortion. She supports medical marijuana but opposes the legalization of marijuana for recreational use. Okay, that's arguable. I mean, I don't have I'm not totally against it, but that's a story for another day. Education wise, she says here that has called opening for more charter schools, lab schools, and virtual schools. Okay, she has argued that critical race theory was definitely being taught in some form or fashion in Virginia schools and accused critics of using semantics to deny it. The site found that the CRT Steers called that CRT concept is racist. Okay, CRT is racist. This is a black woman now says critical race theory is racist. Once again, I've spoken about a previous congressman and I considered a gaslighter for saying that he told ESPN off when they said, "Hey, look, how's it feel to be the first African American coach to do this?" Look, I'm sorry. Whenever I hear or see African American or Black Americans, people of color that oppose kids, students, teens, anybody in general in this world to learn more about cultures, I have an issue with that because, as again I've said countless of times, the United States is a melting pot. You're surrounded by different cultures, man. Like, what's your problem? What is the issue? The fact that you're just tired of learning and you're tired of progressing into, more, more understanding and to grow your country more. I mean, that's what it takes to unite people, not just filling up their pockets. Oh, people got more money in their pockets, so everybody must be happy. They must be getting along together, right? Yada yada. No. We have to have an understanding, learning different cultures. That's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing. So that's on critical race theory. She opposes same-sex marriage. And she supports gun rights, as I mentioned with the AK. So again, typical, ordinary conservative. I mean, that's kind of like their bread and butter issues that they speak on. Now Spamberger, let me go ahead and read her, and then I'll follow back up with talking more about Bobby Scott. Abigail Spanberger. She's a former congresswoman. It's probably because she's currently running for office now. But let's see here. Former intelligence officer who served U.S. representatives from 2019 in the Virginia 7th congressional district from 2019 to 2025. She's a former CIA officer. Spanberger broke the Republican Party's 38-year hold on the district. Wow. Okay, so she made history with that. She at first she was hopeful. She won re-election. Okay, she was hopeful in 2023 to announce that she was going to run for. s- Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's what she mentioned in 2023 that she was going to be running for governor. Let's see here some of her accomplishments if I can. Um, okay, she was on the Committee of Agriculture, Subcommittee for Commodity Exchanges, Energy, and Credit, Subcommittee for Conservation and Forestry. She was actually the chair of that Committee of Foreign Affairs, caucus memberships of the LGBT Equality Caucus, the New Democrat Coalition, Problem Solvers Caucus, Congressional Armenian Caucus, Congressional Caucus of the Equal Rights Amendment, and Rare Disease Caucus. Let's see here. She supports legal abortion. Uh, she was among 12 Democrats to vote for a resolution to end the COVID-19 national emergency. She voted against overturning the District of Columbia's revision of its criminal code, which reduced the maximum penalties for burglary, carjacking, and robbery. She opposes defunding the police and has supported bills that would increase the ability of local police departments to hire and train more officers. Now, her stance on the economy. Um, she had criticized the 2017 tax cut and job supported by President Trump, arguing that its permanent tax cuts for corporations would increase the national debt. She has called for the passage of the USMCA trade deal negotiated between the Trump administration, Mexico, and Canada. She has called climate change one of the greatest and most threats of our economy, our national security, and our way of life. I'm not going to go into too many details with that. During the Russian-Ukraine war, she signed a letter advocating for President Biden to give F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Um, she in favors of background checks for private gun sales. So again, some pretty decent stuff. Again, you literally have like a typical Democrat against a typical Republican. Now, going to the shock to the, again, rumor. I don't know how true this is, but Representative Bobby Scott has been in office, like I said, since '93. He is always you run against Bobby Scott if you want to, you're gonna lose. Okay, you're gonna lose. Um, he has been in the realm as far as just he's never lost a race, and it shows. uh he's very well respected. Folks on both parties are like, hey, look, Bobby Scott's the man. Like, that's gonna be a hard guy to beat. Let me go ahead and see if I can. I'm trying to get a see if I can read this. Okay. How are we looking here? Alrighty. So says here, this is actually reported by Punchbowl News. Says here that the longtime Virginia Democratic Representative Bobby Scott is eyeing a bid to be governor of Virginia, according to multiple sources familiar with his thinking. Now, 77-year-old would be running against Abigail Spanberger, who didn't seek re-election to the House to seek the governorship for next year. Now, Scott's mulling the race comes as some Virginia Democrats have raised concerns about the party standing with black voters. Scott, the top Democrat on the House Education and Workforce, told us he's looking at the opportunity, but is also staying mindful of his House duties. Scott repeatedly noted the razor thin House margin when discussing the House issues. He said usually people running statewide take about a 3-month leave, and I'm not ready to do that, but we'll see. I haven't ruled it out. Top Democrat sources are doubtful Scott will get into this race, but Scott has been privately talking to colleagues about it. Scott has laid out his case and what his strategy would be if he entered the primary race against Spanberger. Several senior Virginia Democrats expressed concerns with Spanberger's ability to excite black voters in the state, especially after a disappointing presidential election where Vice President Kamala Harris underperformed among voters of color. Now, look, as I mentioned before, guys, for those who are, ignore policies and sometimes just, judge a book by its cover first before they even, pay attention at party, they're going to be like, okay, a white female going against a black female. That's just the way of the world we live in. It sucks, but that's something that you have to think about. And they make a good point, because this last presidential race, you had a person of color that ran against a white man, and guess what? She was trying so hard to to earn the those black voters. Now, I'm not saying, you're probably saying like, Arrington, so does that mean it's going to be harder for Winsome Sears to gain black voters? Here's the thing: Winsome Sears is a Republican. There's folks that are just frustrated in general with the Democratic Party. Now, not a lot of black voters, but there has slightly been an increase of black voters leaning to the right, or leaning with, let's check out conservative views and things of that nature. There has been, not, like I said, not a huge number, but they're seeing that number change, and it's not decreasing on the right, it's increasing. Let's see here. It says here, Scott, dean of the Virginia delegation, was the first black member elected to Congress from the state since Reconstruction. And whoever ends up being the Democratic nominee will likely end up facing Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, the first black woman elected to statewide office in Virginia. One Virginia state lawmaker told us that Sears could peel off black voters from Democrats. I don't know how, but the Democratic nominee will have to reintroduce themselves to black voters. The lawmakers saw others said Scott could make the primary competitive, and that's what I think he's going to do. He's going to make it competitive, but at the end of the day, you're still going to need that nominee. Now, he's only making it competitive for his party. He's not making. It will be difficult. I think when you have folks in Congress alone has to continue to keep their strong, dedicated folks, and he is a how I am with the age thing, but I will speak on the fact that Bobby Scott is extremely sharp, and I've seen that firsthand. I've shared tables with him multiple times, and he is extremely he's sharp. He's sharp. He ain't like them two old white guys I was running for president not too long ago. Did I say that? I did. I'm sorry. But yeah, she's a sharp guy. Let me see. Yeah, check out this article, guys. It's punchbowl.news. Check it out. Again, rumor. I don't know how true it is. By the time more stuff comes out, he might reject the claim and say, you know what, I'm just gonna go out there and support Spanberger. We don't know. But what I do know is that I'm about to take a commercial break. We're going to come back with some more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere. Hey, welcome back. All right, moving on. As you know, wildfires are continuing to worsen, and what I mean by worsen is really worsen for leadership in California, right? Specifically, the mayor of Los Angeles as well as the governor of California. A lot of residents are upset at, hey, as they they're hysterical at this moment because look, some of them lost, most of them, lost everything. Some folks are like, hell no, my house could be rebuilt, but a lot of folks are like, no, I had all my money into that home. Like, what's happening? What's going to be your cause? Why are some of the fire hydrants, didn't have a lot of water, and this that, like, everybody's asking a lot of questions. So recently, President Biden had, former President Biden at the time, because they've already had the inauguration and all that other stuff, but he was seen sharing with folks, response teams, and first responders and folks on his out in California, that okay, a one-time payment will be going out to families of that were victims in the wildfire. Here's why he's receiving some backlash. Because the amount of $770. So let me go ahead and play you the soundbite real quick, guys, and then I'll show you my thoughts of what I had shared on my my social media, and then we'll talk on from there. So let me go ahead and play you this.
And I want to be clear, we're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims. We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770, one-time payment, so they can quickly purchase things like water, baby formula, and prescriptions. So far, nearly 6,000 survivors have registered to do just that, and $5.1 million has gone out. And I want to be clear, we're not.
All right, so that right, he made it clear. He shared what they're doing. Look, an effort had been met, right? So that's why I thought was good. So let me share you what I shared. Let me tell you what I shared on our Instagram page, which you guys should be following. Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram. Be sure to follow it. I gave a description of just to put in more context. All right, so one-time payment he had mentioned. Now, what a lot of folks did not know, in addition to this one-time payment, FEMA officers further assistance to eligible individuals. Now, we have as far as for housing assistance, homeowners may receive up to $43,600 for home repairs, replacements, and temporary housing needs. Other needs assistance, an additional $43,600 and available to cover expenses such as medical costs, vehicle damage, household items, funeral expenses, because lives were lost, moving and storage, and child care. Now I mentioned at the bottom, to apply for this, to apply for the FEMA assistance, individuals can visit the official FEMA website. Now, that was what I shared on Instagram. Now, what I shared on my Substack, because I was a bit heated to try and, like, for one, I'm like, okay, because I've learned that, you got to wait until you hear more contents, right? Not automatically just bash. But was this going to be a one-time payment? Was this going to be an ongoing payment? Like, how does the process go? And of course, a lot of people on social media was going ham because they're like, okay, how come the United States give a lot of money to overseas, people overseas who need the assistance, but not to their own country? Now, again, it's hard to explain, but it's they have different, budgets, different groups. I personally had said I do think it should have been more. I don't really have a specific number, but I do think it should have been more than that. And I understand why residents of California, especially of the area that has been hit because of the forest fire, because of wildfires, are frustrated. So here's why I said on Substack, and take it with a grain of salt. I mean, again, I'm venting. I said, all right, for $770, that's the price tag. Currently, they think that's enough to cover the devastation of the loss, everything to the California wildfires. Now, when homes, livelihoods, and entire communities are reduced to ash, $770 doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of what needed to rebuild. Now, how are residents supposed to replace decades of memories, rebuild homes, and support our families with such paltry one-time payments? That was what came off this top of the dome. I shared that because, for one, California is the most expensive state, one of the most expensive states in the United States. So I saw what was going on as far as how much FEMA is giving, but again, people have to apply. People have to apply for that. Where are they going to get access to computers? Where are they going to get access to apply for that? I think when apparently, when we live in the richest country in the world, I just think that it should be even. And that's, honestly, I was frustrated back when we had our stimulus checks during the COVID-19, during the pandemic. I thought we should have got a lot more. Personally, $600 ain't gonna do much. $770 are not gonna do much. I mean, and that's just for what's different between the pandemic and from here. This is just for folks out in Los Angeles areas. The pandemic was for residents from all over the United States. So I can kind of slightly understand why, hey, 600 is what you get, and why people wasn't as fiending as or frustrated as they are with this one. So that's my take on that. I'll talk a little more, bring it up again later on in conversation with folks, but I just wanted to share that here with you on the show. If you know any causes or ways you can, give to families that have been affected with the wildfires in California, please do so. Whether if you have clothes that you don't no longer want to own, or shoes, any kind of resources, please do. I wish I had specific websites or organizations, but you can literally just go on your computer, Google search organizations that are meant to support victims of the California wildfires, and you can give from there. Let me move it on to my very last topic of the day, because it looks like I'm doing good with my time. Go ahead, Arrington. I didn't really finish it all, but I will let's see here. I'll move it on from here. So Carrie Underwood, the chart-topping American Idol winner turned country megastar, Carrie Underwood. She has received backlash because of her recent performance. She was already receiving backlash prior to making the announcement that she was going to be performing at the inauguration, and she has always kept her political views private. When it comes to country music, usually the artist is, it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not uncommon for country artists to lean more conservative, to lean more Republican, because hey, they're raised in more red states like Tennessee, like Texas, like Mississippi, Kentucky. All right. She wasn't the only one. You had Rascal Flatts, you had Jason Aldean, you had Kid Rock, of course. But Carrie Underwood, she was the one receiving the heat, because out of all those names I just mentioned, she's the most popular. But here's my thing, guys, and this is where I'm a bit frustrated. I remember there was an artist by the name of Chrisette Michele. Chrisette Michele performed at Trump's first inauguration, or one of the evening events. Chrisette Michele was a very highly accomplished R&B songstress, beautiful voice, and she performed with a gospel singer. I'm forgetting who she performed with, but she had not, her career had not expanded as much during the heat of that moment. And she was making hits. She had hits with Rick Ross. She had multiple hits, selling albums, the whole 9 yards. But at the end of the day, I look at it as a personal accomplishment. Regardless of how your views on the president, you have the opportunity to perform in front of a sitting president. Better yet, the inauguration that only happens once every 4 years. Like, that's a big deal to announce the next sitting president. That's a huge accomplishment. Huge accomplishment putting your in your resume. Like, as much as I did not like the fact that he won, I'm like, well, good for her. She got to perform. She probably got a good pay raise too. You do you, boo. I go back to Carrie Underwood. Even if Carrie Underwood is a Trump supporter, who gives a flying you know what? She's already successful. I guarantee you, if Biden would have won, I guarantee you she would have did the same thing. That's just me personally. I think that Carrie Underwood, the person she is, she just goes off as that, just humble person. I would love to perform. Absolutely. I would love to. Look, I don't know what everybody showing, giving all this, drinking all this haterade and just giving all this, oh, she needs to be canceled, this and then the other. That's the last time I'm listening to her music. We need to forget about her for 2025. I'm like, what? Y'all calm down. Like, it's just, for one, it's just a performance. It's not like she's literally gonna be up there, she's not like she was up there with a MAGA hat and all that stuff. Now, I mean, again, she could have voted him. She probably did. I could care less. I really could care less. I think the world cancels folks a little bit too much, and I think that's a part of the problem on why just people like Trump win. I really do. I mean, when you start canceling, say, comedians or people, just other public figures, like, not all celebs are liberals. That's just that's a common thing. It might come across like that, but there's folks that that were current actors and extra famous stars that came out, I'm going to support Trump, and now they're now their pockets are looking different because they're like, oh, if you support him, we can't accept you here. I mean, it's a bit too much in my book. It really is. It's a bit much. I'm looking at my time. I wish I could share a little more. I'll probably make a part 2 of this because there is a story that is quite relatable to this one. But I just, again, I personally, I don't like the guy. I don't know him. I won't say I hate him because I don't know him. I definitely will never, and proud to say I'll never vote for him. In anything. I wouldn't vote for him for hall monitor. But at the end of the day, if that person said, hey, Arrington, would you want to interview President Trump? If I can be me and have my rules, hell yeah, I will interview any sitting president. Like I said, I don't want no stipulations. I give him the time frame of this. I'll give him I'll let him know, hey, look, we're gonna have a conversation. Let's keep it real. But I just wanted you to answer my question. Don't try and walk around any of that stuff. And he might do that stuff, and that, hey, that's it. But again, Carrie, congrats. You keep being successful. You keep singing the previews for the Super Bowl, Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. Girl's making her money. I'm still gonna be a fan. I ain't gonna disown you or anything. But until next time, my friends, look, that is my time. Continue to support and tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, new episodes will drop Monday through Friday, available on all digital and streaming platforms. You can listen to us on our radio affiliate, WDJY 99.1 FM, Straight Talk. All right. Take care. God bless. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you next time.